From now on, three countries share their thoughts on authorization. We have presentations from Ghana, Chile, and Japan. However, we are still waiting for Mr. Daniel from Ghana joining the session, and Miss Cristina Figueroa Vargas, the Minister of Environment Chile, kindly accepted to make a presentation first. So Miss Cristina, over to you.
Hi, thank you for introducing me. So, okay, my name is Cristina Figueroa. I'm part of the Mitigation and Transparency Department from the Ministry of Environment in Chile. Next, please. So, my department is in charge of reporting under the UNFCCC. So before discussing Article 6, reporting to understand Chile's rationale and what is behind our vision, I will give you some examples of Chile background for reporting. Chile has submitted 5 biennial update reports. Our latest biennial update reports contains elements that will be reported under the Paris Agreement and biennial transparency reports from 2024 onwards. And that's why Chile is a leader in transparency, the only country in the region to comply with the transparency commitment and anticipate new requirements. Next, please. So this diagram represents the dynamics of some of the systems that support reporting under the UNFCCC. The National Inventory System that can be seen as a major compiler of multi-sectoral information about emissions. The inventory as well as the sectoral MRV are used to generate prospective emissions scenarios in the National Prospective System to guide and facilitate the monitoring of emissions reduction and decision-making. This system supports the evaluation of mitigation measures and the analysis of projections at sectors of subsector level, providing support to other ministries on issues of analysis and evaluation of mitigation measures and prospective analysis. The continuous development of methodologies for analysis accounting on greenhouse gases removals, mitigation impact assessment, and prospective analysis, supported by science, has facilitated the construction of our NDC, and our last NDC was made from the collaborative and coordinated work within public institutions with the development of prospective scenarios based on science and the best available information. So in order to comply with our NDC, the scenarios were estimated through the prospective system to determine sectoral budgets established in our long-term strategy, and in our mitigation sectoral plans, we will establish the mitigation measures with which the sectoral budgets will be achieved. So the mitigation plans and the prospective and inventory system will be supported by our MRV mitigation measures that is under development now, and that will allow understanding issues such as the reason of emission trends, the progress of mitigation actions, and their compliance, and the responsibility and dynamic between institutions for implementing the measure, among others. So this is how works our systems that supports all the reporting process. Next slide, please. So moving to Article 6 report, to understand the dynamics between the different reports under the Article 6.2, I tried to make a simple diagram, maybe as a brief summary about the type of information, just to understand how they are related. First, we have the initial report, which in our view, in the Chilean view, it should be one report per bilateral cooperation and updated for each new cooperative approach. In this slide, it's possible to see how the initial report has transversal data that could be replicated in all the initial reports, and the other information totally related to each cooperative approach that is information that will change in each case and is information that will need to be updated. In the case of the annual report, more information should be tightly linked to ITMO authorization and the verification process related to record information and avoids double counting. And from the information of the initial and the annual report, as can be seen in the slide, I highlight items that are information required for the regular information, and these items don't require further analysis and modification. And the detailed information in the regular information square is the one that requires the use and as input information from both reports to be analyzed and restated, such as corresponding adjustments, quantity, how corresponding adjustment avoids double counting and helps with the progress of towards NDC, ensures the use of ITMO to secure it cancellation. So explain how we ensure the use of ITMOs and how we measure how a measurement of mitigation co-benefits resulting from adaptation actions and economic diversification plans, and also just try to explain some data that will be related. It's not specific, but the cooperative approach linked to the sector, transferring party using, and the vintage. Next slide, please. So we think the main challenges in our position, taking into account Chile's experience in reporting and in progress so far, we consider that one of the main challenges is to understand how to systematize the information to be reported in order to facilitate reporting. For example, understand the structure of the database and how our database, because Chile wants to have his own registry of projects. We specify this under our climate change framework law. So we need to create this registry for projects and certificates, and also understand how to make the process more dynamic. Another barrier in the context of implementing Article 6 for us is having clear indicators that allow applicants to justify the criteria required by Article 6. This is because the national level and at national level, we need to have an understanding on how we will measure these variables, what will be the requests, and how they will be established. So, for example, what will be additionality for us, and how the applicants are, or the creators, part of the creators of this project, of the activities, will justify how they comply with additionality. And finally, in relation to the MRV system of mitigation actions, one of the big challenges we face is to understand what measures have more than one ministry, how this will be defined in our sectoral budgets. As having budgets, there's shared measures between sectors, between ministries, that this design needs to be clarified. This can also be a challenge at a general level, not only for Chile, to determine accounting of the inventory and finally the corresponding adjustment. Next, please. So this was a brief summary of the systems and challenges behind the reporting process in Chile that could serve to analyze and help others to have another perspective of what is Chile now doing, and that could help you. So thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing Chile's experience. So now I'd like to invite next presenter is Maiko Uga, Minister of Environment, Japan. Uga-san, over to you.
Hello, good morning and good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining this working group. And first, I'm Maiko Uga from the Office of Director for International Cooperation for Transition to Decarbonization and Sustainable Infrastructure of the Ministry of Environment Japan. And it's a bit long name to introduce, but our office is focal point of many bilateral, multilateral cooperation with developing countries. And we are also in charge of the Joint Crediting Mechanism, or the JCM, in the ministry. And I think everyone or most of you know the JCM. It's a bilateral cooperation between Japan and partner countries, and trying to implement consistent with Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. So today I'm focusing on the current status and the effort for reporting of the JCM under Article 6. Next slide, please. So first, currently, I'd like to update our current status. So we are still in preparation of the initial report. So you're not gonna see, you'll not find our initial report, but we are drafting the report. Our ministry is drafting the report, and hopefully we can give one more example to other countries. But we have been organizing the mutual learning program together with some of our JCM partner countries, and supported by the IGES. And I think the achievement will be shared later in this session. But so we are kind of still learning by doing with other partner countries, and but with that experience and with the current drafting process, I'd like to share some of the information. So I just listed those items that we have to report with the initial report. And so the first part, I think the participating responsibility, well, probably not that difficult, as Perma mentioned, that because those information come from the NDC, and some of the documents we already developed. For example, we already have an institutional arrangement, and for the JCM, it's called the JCM Promotion and the Utilization Council. So this is, the council is in charge of the authorization of the ITMOS. So, and we already had a tracking system. This system has been operated since or before 2021, even before Paris. So we have a good, robust tracking system, and we regularly report our inventories. And so this part, fortunately, probably it's not going to be difficult for us to report, but I think probably a lot of countries, these like institutional arrangement and building a tracking system and continuous reporting of the national emissions could be challenging. And for the second part, I think this was also kind of relatively straightforward, because those items that reported come from the NDC, and I think we are confident that we don't have any difficulty reporting these items. But maybe in some developing countries, maybe they submitted the first NDC but haven't updated. Maybe they face some difficulties to report. And the third part about the information on ITMO metrics and method for applying corresponding adjustment and so on. So this part also the information rely on the NDC and the for us our domestic document on the method for applying corresponding adjustment. So this part wasn't also my perspective. So it's not gonna be really difficult to report for us, but I guess again, method for applying corresponding adjustment, I think some country haven't established a concrete procedure, so they need to figure out how to apply based on their NDC target. So this part is mostly come from our domestic documents or rules, and for Japan, we have all the necessary documents in place. So I don't think we have any difficulties. But please go to the next slide. So the last part of the initial report, the information on each corporate approach, I think this area, Japan even still need to work on further. So, so some information can come from the NDC and was from the authorization procedure, but a lot of information has to come from the how each corporate approach works. And for the JCM, we already have a guideline for the implementation in Japan, and also rules and guidelines for the JCM between Japan and partner countries. But currently, we have been talking with all the partner countries about updating some of our documents. So maybe those details need to be reflected in a document. And also some countries, we have some like Red Trust, and those are relevant to some of our partner countries. And so this part, since we have 26 partner countries, hopefully we can summarize our kind of principle, but some information has to be very specific to some partner countries. So even for Japan, we need to kind of consider how much information we need to put in this part, because if we go into much detail, so there are some variety across the partner countries, but hopefully we would like to be informative and give our enough information for future review. So this part, we still want to work within the government, and I think some level of coordination is necessary with partner countries. And next slide, please. So actually, this is my last slide, but just summarize what I just said. So Japan, we are still drafting the initial report for the joint crediting mechanism. So so now we kind of starting up within my ministry, but JCM, it's a government-wide effort. So we need to coordinate with other line ministries, and also we in our government there is this authorization council. So so we need to coordinate with the council to kind of give an official goal. So that's we need to work on within the government. And what I just said, some degree of the coordination with the JCM partner countries are necessary, especially the last part of the description of cooperative approach. And so this part, I think it's a little difficult because some partner countries just joined the JCM, and we're still like trying to adopt the set of the documents, and some countries we need to update the rules and guidelines. So there are some degree of and the difference with partner countries, but we hope to work with every country to publish our initial report. And so we'll be doing the capacity building for reporting, including the Articles 13 of transparency. But I think mutual learning has been very useful even for us, and think about what are the things that we both need to do, or what the challenges our partner countries are facing at this moment, and how we can support in that areas. And so we would like to continue our mutual learning program with selected partner countries. Hopefully some new partner country will join this program this year. And also we would like to have kind of like our partner country-wide workshop to share our experiences under the JCM. And also, last but not least, so we, as I said, we have a registry system to track the ITMOS, and it's working good, but to report more efficiently, especially all the details of the ITMOS information, we need to update the registry system. So that's will start in this year, and hopefully will release next year, or at least within 2 years, to kind of to be ready to report the annual information and so on. So these areas that we Japan still need to work on. And that's all for the JCM and current status. And thank you for participating in this working group again. Thank you.